We often think a fulfilling life comes from these huge, dramatic changes. But what if it's not like that at all? What if it's built quietly, day by day, with tiny, intentional habits? That's what we're talking about today, this idea of a gentle architecture for your life. And in this explainer, we're going to look at the blueprint. I love this idea. It's kind of our starting point here. We're always chasing that one big thing, right? The one event that's going to change everything. But real transformation, well, it's a lot more like a mountain. It's built from countless little pieces. Think about it. Each day is just a single grain of sand. And our habits, that's the intention, the glue that holds it all together and creates something truly magnificent. So, does this sound familiar? You know that feeling where your day is just happening to you? You're just reacting, responding to emails, putting out one fire after another. And by the end, you're just completely wiped out, but not really fulfilled? Well, that is autopilot mode. And that's exactly what these habits, inspired by monastic life, are meant to fix. Okay, so that's the big question, isn't it? How do we even start? It's one thing to talk about these big ideas, but moving from the philosophy to the first actual step, well, that can be the toughest part. So let's get practical. Let's get into the specifics. And we're going to start with the most important part of your day, the very beginning. All right, let's talk about the morning, those first few hours. They're like this precious, quiet window of opportunity. How we use that time doesn't just kick off the day, it literally sets the entire compass for your energy, your focus, and your sense of peace for everything that follows. So here are the first 3 steps, and I want you to think of them not as separate little tasks, but as one single powerful routine. See how they build on each other? Gratitude kind of opens up your heart. Then meditation comes in and clears your mind. And finally, planning gives your will a direction to go. All together, it's like a launch pad for a truly intentional day. Okay, let's dive into that first one, gratitude. Now, this is way more than just running through a quick list of things you're thankful for. It's actually a way to fundamentally shift your entire perspective, even your brain chemistry, before the craziness of the day has a chance to shift it for you. And here's where it gets really deep. I mean, it's easy to be thankful for the good stuff, right? The joys, the blessings. But the real work, the stuff that builds serious resilience, is finding gratitude for the struggles, for the difficult people. These challenges, they are our greatest teachers. Seriously. They build our patience, they keep our ego in check, and they forge real, genuine strength. All right, so with that seed of thanks planted, we move to our anchor, meditation. And that early morning stillness, before the emails and the notifications start flying, it's the absolute perfect environment for this. Your mind is naturally calmer, the world is quiet. It just makes it so much easier for your attention to settle down. Yeah, you can think of this as like a sacred pause. It's like hitting a reset button and cleansing your mental palette. And look, it doesn't have to be complicated. Whether you choose something like a love and kindness meditation that focuses on compassion, or just a simple mindfulness practice where you just watch your breath, the goal is exactly the same. You start the day calm, clear, and ready to act with intention. So, you've got a grateful heart and a clear mind. What's next? Well, now it's time to draw the map for the day. Because let's be honest, an intention without a plan, it can get lost pretty fast. This third habit is all about creating the structure to carry that awesome morning clarity with you through the entire day. And planning isn't about boxing yourself in. It's the exact opposite. It's about freedom. It's what pulls you out of that reactive autopilot mode we talked about. When you decide what's important first, you make sure your best energy goes to your biggest priorities. And it creates this incredible mental lightness. It frees you from that constant nagging, what should I do next, anxiety, so you can actually focus on what matters. Okay, so it's one thing to feel all zen and intentional at 6 in the morning, right? But what about at 1 p.m., when the day is in full swing and things are crazy? Well, this next habit is an amazing tool for reclaiming your presence right in the middle of all that chaos. Let's be clear, mindful eating is not a diet. Not at all. It's a practice of being present. It's about taking a second to pause and remember that the food you're eating is literally becoming a part of you. It's about really engaging all your senses, the taste, the smell, the texture, and just being fully there for that simple but really profound act of nourishing your body. And this is what's so brilliant about this habit. It is just so practical. I mean, most of us can't just drop everything for a 20-minute meditation in the middle of the afternoon. But hey, we all have to eat, right? So by focusing completely on your meal, even if it's just for 5 minutes, you're creating this little portable micro meditation. It can ground you, reset your nervous system, and pull you back from the edge of overwhelm, no matter where you are. And just like that, we've arrived at the end of the day. This is where we close the loop. This final habit is all about reflection. It's the process that takes everything that happened, the good, the bad, all of it, and turns those experiences into lasting wisdom and ultimately into character. So, how do we actually do that? How do we train our minds to see the good stuff and really internalize the lessons we're learning? This gets to a real challenge. Our brains are basically hardwired with a negativity bias. We naturally focus on what went wrong. So, to fight that, we need a specific, intentional practice that trains our focus back to our wins, our lessons, and all the good in our lives. And that practice, it's journaling. Seriously, just think of it as a quiet conversation with yourself at the end of the day. It's this dedicated space where you can acknowledge the small victories, process the challenges without judging yourself, and write down, once again, what you're grateful for. The simple act of writing this stuff down helps your brain process and lock in the day's lessons. And this is the real power of journaling. When you consistently reflect on your positive actions, on those moments of gratitude, you're not just remembering them, you're actually integrating them into who you are, into your identity. You're literally training yourself to become the kind of person who sees and creates good in the world. So let's bring this all home. I want you to see that these habits, they're not some rigid checklist you have to follow perfectly. Think of them as tools. They are the tools that you can use to become the architect of your own fulfilling life, building it with intention, one single day at a time. So here they are again, the 5 key building blocks we've walked through. You've got morning gratitude to set your perspective, morning meditation to clear your mind, daily planning to guide your actions, mindful eating to stay present in the moment, and finally, evening journaling to really internalize your growth. At the end of the day, this is the shift these habits can bring into your life. It's the huge difference between being a passenger on autopilot, just reacting to whatever life throws at you, and actually taking the wheel yourself, with intention. It's the move from just existing to truly and deeply living. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most crucial point. You do not have to build the whole mountain overnight. That's not the goal. You just need to lay down one single grain of sand. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Out of all these habits, what is the one small intentional act, that first grain of sand, that you're going to lay down tomorrow?